Hope that after listening to Asubha Sanya, any questions that arise and any confusion that arise goes away, and all beings attain Nibbana, because this is a very profound teachings of Buddha to Girimananda, through which his diseases or his suffering, body suffering went away. So I'll start now with the Karmasthana. May I and all beings in all worlds be freed from the fire of birth, freed from the fire of decay, freed from the fire of illness, freed from the fire of death, freed from the fire of sorrow, freed from the fire of lamentation, filled with the ultimate bliss of Nibbana, filled with the ultimate bliss of Nibbana, filled with the ultimate bliss of Nibbana. May I and all beings in all worlds be freed from the fire of suffering, freed from the fire of discontentment, freed from the fire of exhaustion, freed from the fire of not getting what one likes, freed from the fire of clinging on to the five aggregates, filled with the ultimate bliss of Nibbana, filled with the ultimate bliss of Nibbana, filled with the ultimate bliss of Nibbana. May I and all beings in all worlds be freed from the suffering of samsara, freed from the disease of samsara, freed from the fear of samsara, freed from the fire of samsara, freed from the burning of samsara, freed from the sorrow of samsara, freed from the lust of samsara, freed from the clutches of samsara, filled with the ultimate bliss of Nibbana, filled with the ultimate bliss of Nibbana, filled with the ultimate bliss of Nibbana. The sensual worlds are in despair. May I and all beings be freed from the sensual worlds. The form worlds are in despair. May I and all beings be free from the form worlds. The formless worlds are in despair. May I and all beings be free from the formless world. All worlds are in despair. I and all beings be free from all worlds. Vasanta, your mic. Letting go is the only salvation. May I and all beings let go. Detachment is the only salvation. May I and all beings be detached. Being freed is the only salvation. May I and all beings be freed. Nibbana is the only salvation. May I and all beings attain Nibbana. May I and all beings in all worlds be freed from the bondage of lust, freed from the bondage of aversion, freed from the bondage of delusion, freed from the bondage of Mara, healed with the eternal bliss of Nibbana, healed with the eternal bliss of Nibbana, healed with the eternal bliss of Nibbana. Let us now proceed towards covering up on the Ashubha Sanya. But before that, I would like to offer my sincere gratitude to Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha without which understanding the truth would not have been possible, without which we would still be running in the samsara. It does not mean that there are no other philosophies, but Buddha's teaching is one of the easiest to reach to the destination, and also one of the hardest to follow, because we sometimes get caught up in Kamaloka. We are very much interested in what happens to oneself and to enjoy the pleasures. We forget that we are here for a limited amount of time, and this time is very precious for us to reach Nibbana. Wasting time on any other activity would not be a good thing to do. However, we need to be earning and we need to be working, we need to be in the society which is formed with people. There are expectations which are set in the office or the workplace and also at homes by the husband or by wife or by children or by the parents or by the in-laws. In a lay life, it is slightly difficult to attain towards complete liberation, but that doesn't mean that we cannot attain it at all. So we are here in this samsara to fulfill a purpose. The only purpose why we are here is to attain liberation. So may all beings in all worlds gain this knowledge, gain this wisdom, and try their hard effort in whichever planes of existence they are in to attain Nibbana. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami, dhammam saranam gacchami, sangham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi buddham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi sangham saranam gacchami. Tatiyampi buddham saranam gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami. Tatiyampi sangham saranam gacchami. Let us now welcome all beings and all the people, all the friends, relatives, who are here, either present, parents in this life or in the previous lives, who have given support, who have been there to provide me with the basic amenities. It would be not a good thing in not submitting the gratitude, in not feeling that without them, without their help, I wouldn't have been here. And to all beings who are part of spreading the Buddha Dhamma, all Kalyanamittas who are present here, either in person or on Skype or on YouTube or Facebook, however it is, and to Kalyanamittas who have organized this. Without the help, this wouldn't have been possible. So let me welcome all of them through this small gatha. Samanta Chakkavalesu Atra Gacchantu Devata Saddhammam Munirajasa Sunantu Saggamukhadam Dhammasavana Kalo Ayam Bhadanta Dhammasavana Kalo Ayam Bhadanta Dhammasavana Kalo Ayam Bhadanta. For the last 2 weeks, we've been journeying in the Girimananda Sutta. This is the sutta which Buddha explained to Venerable Ananda when he approached informing the status about Venerable Girimananda, who was sick. And Venerable Ananda thought that it will be a good thing for Buddha to go and attend, and Buddha instead explained to Venerable Ananda to go and explain about the 10 sannyas which will then liberate him from the pain. So over the last couple of weeks, we have looked into the Anicca Sanya and Anatta Sanya, and today we are moving forward into Asubha Sanya. A small history on the Asubha Sanya. In the month of June, I had met a Kalyana Mitra who was in Australia, and now he is an ordained monk in Sri Lanka. So we had a discussion of Asubha Sanya. So we went into the Pada Nirukti and then looked at the true meaning of Asubha Sanya. So I will explain about all the 31 parts of the body and what it really means and what we can see within ourselves. Not only with a human being, but with beings below us, like the animal realm of existence, which we can see. So we can compare ourselves with the animal skin or animal bone and other things and see how each one of us have got this body based upon the karma and the chitta. Basically, nothing happens without a reason, so there is a hetu or the cause, and there is a phala. So the yoni or the womb which gets selected is based upon what type of karma was performed. So it can be out of raga, dvesha, moha, or all the three combination. So there is tirisan, that is when Raga, Dvesha, Moha are in equal quantity, and then that is how the animal is formed. So if we look at the body structure or the skin of the animal, we know what would have made that kind of skin. And whereas in humans it is much less denser. So actually, how do we experience pain? We experience pain, that is the gandhava or the subtle body which is inside experiences the pain through the body. So the more thicker the body, the heavier is the pain. But we cannot see that in animal or any other species because we are not experiencing that ourselves. But if we were to experience it, it would be much harder to see. We cannot tolerate that pain. So this Asubha Sanya, let us go in detail now. What is the meaning of Asubha? A plus Su Bha. Bha is Bhava, Su is good. A is not a good Bhava or not a good destination. So basically, what Buddha is explaining to us or guiding us or giving an insight to us is that these 31 parts of the body, what we consider as the most gifted item, is going to lead us to a bad destination. A plus Su plus Bha. Bha is Bhava, that is becoming. Su is good. So Su Bhava is good becoming. In Sanskrit it becomes Swa Bhava, that is one's own becoming. So Su is good, but Asu is, A plus Su is not good. Anything attached A in the front becomes negated. So Asubha Sanya is a wrong or a bad destination, and the perception what a person has is supposed to be good. So this is Buddha explains this as Vipalyasa, or in Sanskrit it is Viparyasa, and in English it is actually hallucination. That is the exact meaning of in English. What is meant to hallucinate is to accept wrong thing as right and right thing as wrong. So what happens is that we actually take what is rotting, what is getting destroyed every moment as something which is very much required, and we try to do everything to put it in place, not realizing that every breath we are taking and every breath we are leaving out, the body is integrated and disintegrated at the same time. The number of cells which we have in our body would have got reduced, and a new set of cells would have come by the time we finish our breathing. And that is how we age. The temperature actually removes the energy from the body, which is made out of food. So what I call myself as so and so person is nothing but food. And the food getting digested through the nutrients are extracted, and then that is what is built up as a body. So the bones and the skin and all of that is part of that. So without much delay in explaining that, so let me start with the first one. And before that, let me explain what Buddha has explained in Pali, and then we will go through the English translation. Katamancha Ananda Asubasanya Idhananda Vikku Imameva Kayam Uddham Padatala Ado Kesamattaka Tachaparyantam Puram Nana Pakaras Asuchino Pachavikkati Athi Imasmim Kaye Kesa Loma Nakha Danta Tacho Mamsam Naharu Athi Minjam Vakkam Hadayam Yakanam Kilomakam Pihakam Paphasam Antam Antagunam Udariyam Karisam Mattalungam Pittam Semham Pubbo Lohitam Sedo Medo Assu Vasa Khelo Singhanika Lasika Muttanti Iti Iti imasmin kaye asubhanupassi viharati ayam vuchatananda asubasanya. For those listeners who don't know Pali, and I had to use this Pali because it is the most important sutta, and without this it would be really incomplete. So I sincerely ask for apology in completely using Pali. But now I will explain each one of them in detail. So what is Kesa? So in English it can be said that it's a hair on the head. That's all. So what is Asubha there in the hair? Actually, if we do the Pada Nirukti, what is Pada Nirukti is in English called as etymology. Etymologically speaking, it can be split up into two parts, Ka plus Esa. So in Pali, anything starting with Ka has a special feature. So Ka is normally bad or decayed, or which is putrefied, or which can be putrefied. Putrefied means which can rot later. So if we were to pull up a hair and try smelling it, you will see that the hair follicle from which it has been plucked out has a protein. The whole of hair is just a protein. The color which has come on the hair, whether it is white or black or whatever color the hair is just a pigment, which is again a chemical. So what I find myself as the best hair styled person, if the hair were to get dropped in the food, I will not be able to eat the food because the hair is there in the food. I will have to remove the hair and eat the food. So what was so loving in the head, if that piece of hair were to fall down, I would not like it. So that is Ka. Esa is nothing but an impression on the mind that it is fruitful. So why do we have hairs on the head? Or what makes us get the quality of having hairs on the head? So while the being gets into the womb, the characteristics will start. What are these characteristics? Is nothing but the habit and the gati. The gati is the characteristics. So now when we look at the Ka plus Esa, depending upon how the person is in terms of his Kamma and Chitta, the Utu and the Karaja will function in a way suitable to that being which is having the blueprint. So this Kesa has come into existence because I have been aspiring for the decaying qualities, and then the decaying qualities is the one which I keep myself as the best. So if you've seen people with hairs on their head, they would like to decorate. Be it a woman or a man, woman will have more interest towards the kesa than the men. That doesn't mean that men are not interested in kesa. So this decaying quality, we would like to project it more by combing the hair, applying oil, applying all kind of perfumed scented or scented oils, going for a hair dye and hair massage and hair spa. There are so many things which are done. So what is being rotting, person loves the most. Why he does that? Because he feels himself in the hair or herself in the hair. If the hair was to fall, the person feels very annoyed. That you could have been seeing with oneself or one's own wife or husband or whatever it is. So once the hair starts falling, turns grayed, the person feels very unhappy. He will start looking at it and say that why my hairs are falling, maybe due to water, maybe due to salt in the water, maybe due to the climate, maybe due to the food, adulteration, maybe due to the diseases. So the person feels very much bad because he or she does not know this same kesa is the one which is causing him most discomfort. The ka or the bad part is treated as good, and that is the vipalyasa or the hallucination. So the whole of Asubha Sanya is all about hallucination. What we have, bad thing being good and good thing being bad. So that doesn't mean that you should turn bald. That doesn't mean that we have to give up and take a rope. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying here is that we need to know what is the truth. The truth is ka plus esa, kesa. Now we come to the second one, loma. Lo ama. That is the etymology of it. But in English we call it as body hairs. Lo is for lokia or loka or worldly. Ama is nibbana. So by indulging oneself in loka, you cut nibbana. So the body hairs start to grow because we would not like to be in nibbana. So actually, if you see, most of the time we have a painful condition in the body because of the body hairs. But again, some human beings have less dense body hairs, and some have more body hairs. So we have that based upon how our habit patterns were. When the male born as a male in a particular place decides how much of the gross quantity of body hair should be, but normally you will find that it is most uncomfortable to have dense body hairs, and that gives rise to so much of so many bacterial infection, skin rashes, to some insects making it home. So the body hair becomes a food for something else. So why this happened is that the ama is nothing but the Nibbana. So I have literally removed Nibbana from myself, and that is the reason I am getting into the worldly now. So I would like to possess more. So what I have done in the process is to destroy the goodness. Because I have destroyed the goodness and I am indulging in the sense pleasure, the body hairs, the loma, becomes an attractive for the opposite sex. So a woman loves a man having good body hairs. That is the normal thinking. It depends on region to region. But generally that is the thinking, because the woman doesn't have body hairs. She has very thin body hairs. So the man loves a woman not with having much body hairs, and the woman loves a man with more body hair. So what basically they both are doing is to indulge themselves in Lokiya Bhava. So the Asubha here is that this body hairs decay, and if we were to actually see in a day, we would be dropping so much of body hairs on the floors. But once that body hairs has fallen, we don't have any liking towards that. So if we see whatever is coming out of the body, we don't like it. As long as it is attached to the body, we like it. That means we have attachment towards that. Once that falls down, while taking bath or while wearing dress or whatever, lot of hairs will fall down from the body. Am I crying because of those so many hairs are falling? No. I know that new hairs are going to grow. And even then, if it falls, I can't do anything. So I'm helpless. So there is anatta there as well, if you were to see. And it's anicca. So I cannot say which hair is going to fall now. So if I were to look at that rupa, that is the hair on the body, I really cannot make out which hair will now fall. It's not possible to predict. But I know in a day, so many hairs will fall. Now when the hair falls, and then I don't know whether it is my hair or somebody's hair, but do I really keep it in a safe locker? No. I would like to first remove that which is fallen. So if I were to apply an oil to my body, so much of hairs will come out. It doesn't seek my permission. So that has happened because of the ama which has been removed out of it. So the goodness is removed. As soon as the body goodness is removed, the hair falls down. That is a very clear indication that when we remove goodness in ourselves, we fall down. But due to ignorance, due to avidya, we don't see that. We feel that the hairs falling is something which is natural. Just like growth of the hairs is natural. But if you really observe very carefully, when the infant or the child which has just come out of the mother's womb doesn't have any hairs on the body, it has very thin hairs. And the body structure or the skin is so soft to touch. As the body grows, once the person becomes a teenager, he will have the shock of his life that hair starts growing. It keeps on growing thicker and thicker. And once he ages, all the hairs fall down. That very clearly gives an indication how this ama, goodness, is being removed. But the person doesn't understand that, and he gets attached to that hairs. He feels very good about the hairs on the body. So that is loma. The third one is nakha. What is this nakha? In English it is nails. The etymology is na plus kha. Kha is pleasure of senses, just like dukkha, kha, sukha, kha. So that kha is nothing but the sensual pleasures of all the five senses, from wherever it has come. Just like anicca, na, you have this na kha. That is a nyaya or a theory that it will last a long time. I am going to last for a very, very, very long time. That is, I can beat the death. I can save myself in destroying. So this anicca nature is nicca nature which is there. That is, I can maintain my ichcha for a long time. In the same way, I believe that I can indulge in sense enjoyment for a very long time. And I need to aspire that more and more. So the person feels that there is a lot of pleasure, asada or aswada, in the senses. So I keep on feeding on the sense pleasure and I start indulging in it, which gives me sense pleasure. It can be anything. It can be watching a movie or watching a television show, gossiping, or I can just keep on talking without any kind of use. And I can use false speech. False speech, Musavada, is not about just telling lies. It is about informing that there is a lot of pleasure to be enjoyed in the senses. So explaining to people that there is the sense enjoyment is what we are basically here for. So forgetting all about Nibbana, and that is how the nails get formed. It might look very strange. How is nail supposed to get connected with Nibbana? Or why it is connected to Nibbana? If we go deeper into it, we can see how these nails will grow. If you see, it is a soft bone which is coming out. It grows. As it grows, if you were to smell that, it doesn't smell good. So anything which comes out of senses, the pleasure, the fuss or the contact which happens with the particular sense is not likable after it has stuck, after it has attached. Similarly, if we see our nails, as it grows, it picks up dirt. So we have to clean the nails if you were to grow it, and also we have to cut it or trim it to look nicer. So the woman will then put color to that to make it look very pretty for the male, without realizing that what she is growing is dirt. So these nails which grow, if we were to observe what it is growing, it is growing bad things. And sooner or later we have to cut the nails. You cannot make it grow because it is dirt. But the dirt thing is considered as very good, and that is the reason it is Asubha Sanya. If somebody were careful, then he wouldn't have indulged in the bad thing at all. But now he is indulging in bad thing. Then these nails are there. So basically, Kesa, Loma, Nakha, these three as a combination creates an interest in the individual, which he would like to protect. So when we see a body, it is made out of Kesa, Loma, Nakha. The Anta, Danta, or the teeth. The Anta. Anta is to end. So what am I ending? I am ending goodness. So the goodness, if I had gone forward, would have given me a way to attain Nibbana. But now I have cut it, this hard bone, which I treat it as the most pleasurable thing, because now I can eat. So I can cut food and then grind it. So just imagine if the tongue were to come in between the teeth, what will happen? If you also see it sometimes when we are eating, or even while talking or whatever, we might bite the inner mouth, the inner soft skin of the mouth. It's so painful, but the teeth is literally not interested or not having any kind of compassion. If you were to bite it, it might bleed, but then the teeth does not have any kind of compassion. You cannot, or nobody can program the teeth how it should bite. So either the tongue can come in between the teeth, or the inner skin can come in between the teeth. So it is such a dangerous thing, but I don't see the danger. So what is to be learnt here? Just like the teeth can grind away the food, similarly the goodness is grinded out without a trace because of the indulgence in the sensual pleasures, or the aswada. This aswada, or the sensual pleasure, or the pleasure what is really taken up due to ignorance, avidya, and due to tanha, which is attachment, the person feeds onto it thinking that it is the best thing to have. And then the teeth can develop cavities due to food. If you see, the gums get eaten away by the bacteria. If we don't brush our teeth, it smells ugly. But if the teeth were the most prominent, best thing, just like what they show in the commercials, they show it on a billboard, advertisement, that they will show the person smile with the teeth. His or her lips are wide open and they show the teeth. It looks so nice. That means the bad thing is looking so nice, and we want to cherish. We want to cherish our teeth to be like that. If teeth were such a nice thing, then why does it rot? Why does this smell? Why there is smell in the gums? Why there is bleeding in the gums? Why after every meal we have to brush our teeth? Why is that? If it was so nice. But we still feel it is required. So we would like to continue on the sensual journey, and undergo torture to get the desired outcome. So here is what Buddha wanted to inform, that Majjhima Nikaya, that is not to get, Majji is intoxication, Ma is to cut it. So not getting intoxicated, Nikaya, Ni plus Kaya. So what he wanted to explain was that don't indulge in two things. One is Kama Sukhalikanu Yogo and Attakila Matanu Yogo. Again, sorry for using Pali words for those listeners who cannot really understand what it is. Kama Sukha is Ka plus Ama. Again, Ama is the Nibbana. Ka is bad. So one which has cut the path of Nibbana, so which is sensual. Sukha is goodness or pleasure, enjoyment. Okay, which is coming out of the senses. Sukhalika, that is, I get attached to the sukha, feeling of good feeling coming through the senses. Sukhalika anu yogo, that is, anu is in according to and yoga is to in union, that is, get attached to kama or the sensual pleasures, or get into atta kila matanu yogo, that is, atta is self, myself, kila is lowly attitude, indulging myself in some hardships, giving body much pain. So kila mata is view or a mindset that one needs to torture oneself to attain goodness, to extract goodness. So the teeth normally grinds everything off. So we take the essence, make the essenceless. So if we were to indulge in that, in these two, sometimes Kama Sukhalikanu Yogo, sometimes in Kila Matanu Yogo, Atta Kila Matanu Yogo, and that is the reason we suffer. So the Anta basically brings that aspect into mind. So we go behind the sensual pleasure, grinding everything in its path. And in the end, we don't get anything at all. If you've seen, as we grind our food, it goes inside the esophagus, and after that we don't even remember what it was. So all the taste and everything is in the tongue. So as we grind it, little bit taste comes out. That is the saliva will bring it. So there is some taste bud which will open up, give some chemicals. You feel salt or pungent or whatever it is, and then salt, sweet, astringent, and all of that, different kinds. And it goes inside, that's all. And then what happens? We don't even remember. After it has gone inside, the pleasure is gone. So the pleasure remained for a very, very limited time. But for that pleasure, I don't mind grinding anything in its path. So that is the reason it's called the anta, danta. Just teeth. Then we come to tacho, the acho, the acha. What is that? It's the skin. So in English we call it as skin, but in other languages it is called twacha. Twacha in Sanskrit is again skin. Tacha is skin. So tacha is tathagata. Acho is moving to the end. That is, we have moved so badly that we have moved into the other corner of goodness, that is bad. That is, we are now towards destruction. So what happens is the skin covers up all the bad qualities which are there and shows that it is good. If we just cut our skin, if we were to smell the blood and other things, it is so bad to smell. Have anybody tried it out? If you just cut your skin, try smelling it. Do you like the smell? But that is what it is. The skin covers it up, showing that it is so nice. So what are we attracted to? We are attracted to skin and various colors of the skin and various textures of the skin. But if anybody were to look under the microscope, there are insects, there are small creatures which make skin our home, but that is not visible to our naked eye. Just go to YouTube and search for beings inside our skin, on the top layer of a skin. You will be surprised to know that there are so many beings called as mites which reside on the skin, and they keep on eating the dead cells of the skin. Their home is our skin, but we don't find it, we don't see it. So when we take bath, some of it get destroyed, but the new one comes up. So they actually reproduce in the same place where you have these body hairs. So they keep their eggs in that place and they develop and they grow and they die. So every day so many of it are born. So we don't even know. The skin covers them all up neatly. So we spend all our energy in maintaining the skin. Now people have found out ways of making look younger. In the quest of looking younger, they have this Botox and all that, injections and so many different cosmetics, and you name it, you have it, just to show that the skin is the best thing what anybody could enjoy, which is so funny that we spend all our energy in maintaining the skin, which by very nature will get destroyed. So that is tacho, which is the skin. So what it means is that it destroys the good qualities through bad qualities and covering up the bad nature. That is nature. What is bad nature? There are only two things in nature, which is just like two wheels of a cart. Or rather, there are three things. So the front wheel in a horse carriage, let us say the horse, is the moha. For moha to survive, you should have raga and dvesha. So these are the two wheels of the cart. The negative raga is the dvesha, or the positive dvesha is the raga. So these two go together. So when we see things are happening as per one's wish, he gets more and more desire, that is raga. But when things are not happening to his wish, he gets dvesha, which is negative of raga. So this raga and dvesha is covered up by a layer, and we love that the most, that is skin, tacho. So what we do? We use it for touch. Skin is used for touching. So we would like to feel. Who is feeling? The mind. Through what? Through the touch. Sparsha. So what is getting touched up? It's basically Pathavi Dhatu, Tejo Dhatu and Vayo Dhatu. There is pressure, then there is temperature, then there is Pathavi, which is solidity,
hardness, softness and all that. Patavi dhatu. But I am deluded. I have no idea. So I love something which inside has such a, what I can say, which is rotting. If you see, if you were to cut open a portion of the skin, so when a person falls down and let us say there is an injury to his or her hands or legs, and there is a pus formation, that is the same thing which is coming out. That was inside, now it is coming outside. Forget the pus. If there was something of the skin tear, what do you see? The flesh. Do you like it? No. As long as it is having a skin, we love it. The moment the skin goes away, we hate it. Next, we are coming into flesh called mamsa. Amsa is essence. Ma is to cut. So, I don't know whether any one of us observed that even if we eat vegetarian food, pure vegetarian, it transforms into mamsa. There is no vegetable in our body, even though we are eating vegetable food. What it is doing is through chemical combination, it is transforming itself into flesh. Amsa. Amsa is the essence. Ma is after cutting the essence. So that means we are basically storing something which is in essence nonsense. And that is what rots. The flesh rots. The flesh is the one which gets into diseases. The flesh is the one which keeps eating itself, and it's called as cancer. And funnily, the person kills another flesh-eating animal and eats it. So adding more amsa. Already that animal has removed the essence. So he again uses that in his body, making double time essenceless. So this is how the mamsa is. Now what is the essence? Essence is the nibbana. So if we remove nibbana, this is what we become. We are here, we are suffering because of the mamsa, what we have. That doesn't mean that we have to cut the flesh and throw it away. That is not possible. But we need to understand that how the flesh came. So we might aspire for happiness, but what we are getting is pleasure. But the flesh which gets converted is the one which gets attached. So all the body is made out of flesh. So the nutrients are extracted from nature, and we don't have any way to submit our gratitude because we forget, because in our living we have to eat. To eat, we have to do something. And that all that something what we do creates an ego that I exist. So I am eating. So I love this kind of food. I love that kind of food. I love this kind of plant. I love this kind of vegetable. I love this kind of animal. So all this I love, I'll do, I will enjoy, I relish. All that is the one which is becoming as flesh. So we remove the essence from everything. From gratitude, from feeling gratefulness to something, to feel that how do I attain Nibbana? So we lose all the essence of it and then we start indulging into it. So that is Mamsa. Next one is Naharu. Naharu is nothing but sinews or tendons. If you have seen a sinews, tendon, have you seen that? This is something which connects a muscle to a bone. A sinew means ligament. So in our leg, in our what I can say, knee, and also the arm, the elbow, there is a connection between two bones. It is a thick muscle which creates the functional movement of that particular part. So sinews and tendons connects the muscle to a bone, which itself is a thicker tissue or a muscle. So what it means? It means that we are joining avidya with tanha. Na haru. Hara is goodness. Na haru is removing of goodness again. How do I remove goodness? By connecting avidya and tanha. So I keep on connecting avidya and tanha. So what do? Is I develop a mindset that sense enjoyment is what this world is made about, and attaching it with raga, dvesha and moha. Do I ever know that how this is connected? So if we were to go through biology, at the time of Buddha could see everything inside his body and also was able to explain. Now we have science. So we can see the sinews and the bones. So now you have technology. Now we have the technology which will enable us to see it. So again, it is available on YouTube. So those of us who desirous of looking at the sinews and the tendons or nothing but the ligaments and tendons can just give in search, and then you will be able to see that in action. So basically Naharu is all about how to remove goodness in us. The goodness is nothing but attaining Nibbana. Because now it is connected to the avidya and tanha, it's very, very difficult to come out of it. That's where the avidya is. And sometimes because of our aspiration, we are either in avidya, and when we get something and we want more of it, we are in tanha. And then we have upadana, or hold on to that particular feeling which comes up due to our ignorance or avidya. Next we go to ati or bones. Ati. So it means we have to do something about it. What is that something? How does bones come? So we know in science that there is calcium, and calcium get deposited and all of those things are there. But how does ati happen? Ati happens because of our strengthening of raga, dvesha, moha. We require the structure before the raga, dvesha, moha can be enjoyed by the senses. The senses are there only as eyes, ear, nose, tongue and touch, which is there in the Pasada Rupa. But then it requires an external element to experience it, for which it requires a structure. The structure is created by the Atti. So the formation of Atti, so let us say the cell get mutated, zygote, and then the mother womb, in the mother womb, so the ovaries, the egg has come out, the sperm has taken in, so now there is mutation process, and now what is happening? After some time, the food eaten by the mother is extracted, that is again, extraction is ma'amsa, and that creates enough nutrients to create a atti. So depending upon how the blueprint is, it strengthens raga, dvesha, moha. And that is how the structure is formed. So we create our own structure based upon the karma. And for karma to operate, you require to have chitta. For the chitta and karma to operate, you need to have gati. And gati is the characteristics or the habit of that individual who is now in the womb. And he has the blueprint. So what is happening is that in the samsara, I keep on trying to find the contractors. The contractor will create the structure for me. So the father gives me the land and the mother gives me the material for building that home, where I am going to stay for, say, 80 to 100 years or 60 to 100 years, and the house can fall at any time because of the sankata. So if we could see that the bones provide the structure, similarly the pillars and the columns provide the structure for the home. Same thing. There is a blueprint, we give to the contractor builds as per the blueprint. There is a blueprint given by this being to the mother and to the father at the time of conception. The womb is selected, and then that is the land is selected through the father, and the material comes from the mother. So the structure is formed. If you have observed, some children are very frail, whereas the parents are very stout. In some cases, the child is very thick or well built, but the parents are frail. How did that happen? That happened because of the blueprint, what it had. So some babies are very, very, what I can say, very lean when they are born, so not much of a weight. Whereas some baby are very stout or very plumpy when they are born. So that is how we can see how this structure is formed. So the bones have strength. That is, the bone has a mass. Next one is Atti Minja. Minja. Ma Inja. Inja is which can provide a source of liberation. Inja is cutting that source of liberation, which is nothing but bone marrow. So basically, after the structure is there, I need to have a place where I can keep on creating enough structures for my sensual appetite. So what I'm doing is I'm creating situations which then gives rise to enjoy raga, dvesha and moha, so that the pleasure or the aswada can be taken. So all that I'm interested is aswada, and I don't see the adhinava or the bad part or the disaster which happens because of the aswada. So atiminja, the marrow of the bone, so where the bones get formed, the white blood cells will keep on developing there and creating the environment for the bones to grow. So I am developing the environment where the raga, dvesha, moha can grow, can mature. Because without I don't create that, then there is no structure. So for every enjoyment, I require to have a structure in place, without which I cannot enjoy anything at all in this world. So the structure can be two kinds. One is a mental structure, one is a physical structure. So for the mental structure to operate, you require to have a physical structure. So this structure basically creates the functions for enjoyment or the pleasure. Next one is Vakam. Vakam is nothing but kidneys. Actually, Vakam is crooked. So if you see in the kidneys, it is crooked. It's like a bean shape, and it's how it is connected. If you see, it is crooked. So basically, a person should have a crooked mindset in thought, deeds and words. His idea is to enjoy sensual pleasures at any cost. So more detailed we go, we can see that the Nibbana is getting cut more and more and more. So what we need to do is to understand how this Asubha is to gain back to Nibbana. So at present, what is happening in our kidney, we cannot see. What is happening in our liver, we can't see. What is happening in our heart, we can't see. We cannot see anything which is inside. Inside the skin, we don't even see anything. Basically, we believe what we see at the skin surface is what it is. And that is where we have ignorance. That is where we are lost. So, Vakam is the kidneys. Just like the kidney's job is to purify whatever comes in, but it stores whatever it wants. Nothing that you can do about it. So it keeps on destroying something or the other with a crooked mindset. Similarly, this will show us that because we have this crooked mindset of gaining whatever we should gain through senses, through indulgence, that is the reason we get into a bad destiny. Because the more we indulge into it, the more likely that we end up being in a bad destiny. So the list is bigger. What I will do is I will cut it here, because now we are close to 1 hour 20 minutes after I started, and this is a very hard topic to digest. So I will now stop here, and we can take this in the next week session. so that we can then go from Hadayam to Yakanam, Kilomakam and all that. So because those are even more detailed and very, very deeper meaning into that. So I wanted to cover it next week. Hope you don't mind that. So at present we have covered from Kesa to Vakam. Vakam is the kidneys. So any questions?
Nissaranaye, Vilas.
Nissaranaye, Lasanta.
Vilas, actually, it is very deep insight. So, in my language, in Sinhalese, I have heard this, but didn't have any sense because if we say that Kesa, Loma, Naka, Danta, but it doesn't mean. But in outwardly, we see Kesa, Loma, Naka, Danta. But here today, thank you very much for giving a very good explanation. And Vilas, I think without the etymology or the Padanirukti, it is very difficult to understand this, what Buddha explained through this through this Asubhasanya. So actually, I don't have any question to ask. So here, but I want to thank you, and I want to contemplate more in this topic. I think in next week also you are going to continue this lesson, this Desana. So then I will be able to understand this. Thank you very much, and much more merits.
Thank you, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I could have actually continued more, but then I thought that it will become too much for one day.
Yes, Vilas, yes.
Okay, so I will then pass the merits to all the beings and all the people assembled here. May all of them attain Nibbana. May all of them be freed from all kind of dangers in attaining in crossing the samsara. So let everyone rejoice in this desana. Especially Girimananda Sutta is the most important desana to attain arhathood. That one sutta can really bring a person from Pattujana to arhat in 4 cycles. So I'm doing my best to explain that, and it's not mine as such. It is the contribution of Buddha, and I'm very grateful to Buddha for sharing this with all of us, and let all beings assembled here gain from the last 3 weeks. We are covering portions of the Girimananda Sutta. So may all of them attain Nibbana, and all the people who have made this desana success, may all of them be free from suffering, understand that the lust and the desires are going to be like the Mara, who can take out the life and make the person indulge in more and more. The being will really indulge in more and more and into more suffering. So may they find peace in understanding the truth, and remove the shackles of the samsara, remove the blindness which is created due to Kama Raga, Rupa Raga, Arupa Raga. So let that Raga go away. May they attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all Kalyana Mitras who have met me in the past, present and in the future, may all Kalyana Mitras who are there across the world, across the samsara, and attain the noble eightfold path by understanding the Buddha Dhamma, and attain the Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami and Arhat. May all beings be free from all kind of sensual pleasures which brings only suffering. May all beings be free. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.